Good morning. It is the Coffee Run Live episode 199. I'm so excited. It is I think it is particularly exciting actually. As I've said to you guys, we've got episode number 200 going live tomorrow. And I believe, hey Tamara, I believe that we're all coming along and celebrating. Tamara is BYOing her very first bulletproof coffee, which is awesome and exciting. I might have coffee and maybe champagne. We'll just see what happens. I think there are so many reasons today to be not excited, right? To be, whatever. And I, for one, am not someone who is excellent at celebrating things. I do tend to, it might come as a bit of a surprise, but I tend to kind of go, oh yeah, it's just what we do. A lot of you have probably heard me say that, like whether it's about getting, being on TV, whether it's being in like Money Magazine, all of this kind of thing. It can sometimes be a little bit like, oh yeah, it's just what we do. So I've decided that we need to celebrate with fun and extra fabulousness. So that's what we're going to be doing tomorrow. So what I wanted to chat with you a little bit about today is a bit about making choices. And when you are in a position where you're up leveling, so for some of you that might mean where you're launching out into a new business, where you're starting with some new marketing, maybe it's about a reinvention conversation. Sometimes it can be a little bit challenging to make choices and decisions. Now, I was watching The Voice with my kids the other day, and we don't watch it live. We tend to binge watch it together as a family. Well, not so much my oldest daughter, but certainly with my younger two children. And we're just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I was really inspired a couple of nights ago. I can't remember the name of the girl, but the lady, but you'll like roll along with me. So this woman had, and for those of you who haven't seen it, sorry about it, there'll be a bit of a spoiler, but I can't remember her name. So, there's that. So this girl who was about to go and do a blind audition got up on stage, but the backstory was that she knew she had a personal connection with Guy Sebastian. So we have Guy Sebastian, Delta Goodrem, Kelly Rowlands, and Boy George sitting on the panel, right? And so the blind audition, for those of you who aren't familiar, like the judges have got their backs to the stage, the person comes on, they sing, and they have to press a buzzer in order to turn around within the allocated time if they want to either have that person on their team or fight to have that person on their team if more than one of the judges turns around. So this woman had all four judges, hey Jess, had all four judges turn around. Now it turns out that her backstory, like a lot of the other contestants that go on shows like this, has got a singing career, she's done different things and wants to elevate up to the next level, right? And obviously there are a whole lot of things going on in terms of what they can do and everything else. So anywho, all four judges have turned around and this girl has just got, like, you can kind of see on her face, she's like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to choose. And how do you choose, right? You've got these four amazing superstars, and how are you gonna pick which one's gonna coach you? And when Guy saw her, he was like, oh, hello. And then, anyway, like that. And so then it turns out there was this conversation across the panel that she was known and yada, yada, yada. So this girl is faced with a choice, right, of who to pick. And you could hear the cogs turning and Guy's like, follow your gut. You'll follow your gut. He didn't say you'll make the right decision. That's me putting words in his mouth. But certainly you follow your gut, you'll make the right decision. And you could see her standing there just going like, what the fuck am I going to do? Kelly said, like, can we have 5 seconds of silence so that she can think? She probably took about 10 seconds. And she said, the decision that I'm most afraid of is the decision that I'm going to make. And I'm going to go with Guy. So what I took out of that was that I love the rationale behind it. And then I love the commentary from the other judges after she went off stage. And this woman is a risk taker. So if you think about it, if you are going to, in that instance, you choose to work with someone who already knows you, the risk might be that they don't push you and they don't extend you perhaps to the way that someone who doesn't have any idea about who you are or what you do or what your capabilities are. And so for her, like what she said, I was trying to come up with reasons to not choose Guy, right? So the decision that she was most afraid of making was actually the decision that she chose to make. And I thought that this is really inspiring because quite often what we do is we get our heads and our heart and our gut can kind of end up in this sort of like land of conflict. And I've been in this position as well, not in a very distant history where I've gone, okay, you know what, this is something that I want, but, right? There might have been a bunch of surrounding factors that had me going, but I don't think I should do it. And then my head gets in the way and then I'm thinking, well, am I trying to do this from a logical decision? Am I trying to do this from a place of FOMO? Because, the FOMO is fierce in this one. Am I doing this from a place of ego? Am I trying to make this decision because it's the right decision to make, or am I making this decision based on scarcity? And so my head can get all noisy, and then that you can end up in like analysis paralysis, right? And then it's like, okay, so what would my heart do? And then it's like, sometimes I then overthink that. It's like, well, is that really where my heart's going? Or is it more of again, like a logical FOMO-y type of decision? And then it's like, okay, well, let's get that out of the way. And what does my gut tell me? So, I don't know. Now I'm all confused. Like everything is like my gut, my heart, my head, they're all just sort of like intermingled and messy and loud and like all of this, what the fuckness and everything else. And so at that point for me, and I haven't probably been able to articulate a decision-making process like this since seeing this episode of The Voice the other night, where it was like, okay, so what's the choice that I'm most afraid of making? Because often that can be the key to the right decision. And so I actually there was a thing that I had to decide on yesterday actually. And I was just like, all right, well, what is actually the decision that I'm the most afraid of making? And once I had that really clear, it was just like, oh, yeah, okay, well, let's make that decision that I am most afraid of making, and let's just go. A similar thing happened earlier on in the week where there was a call out for what's going to be a pretty cool roller derby competition, actually, and there was a call out for people who might want to skate, and I was just like, bleh. The decision I was most afraid of making, or the thing that I was most afraid of articulating, was saying, yes, I'm in and I'll do it, because, I was afraid of all of the other implications of said decision. So one of the things that you can do is in your journals is put in here, like write down journal prompt. Let me give you a journal prompt. Catherine, it's really weird. Your comments are not coming up. I can see it on the computer, but I can't see it on my phone. I don't know why that is. It's so weird. Bloody Facebook and your glitches. Journal prompt. Number 1. What decisions or choices am I holding off on making? And then what is the one that I am most afraid of? And then perhaps like this is just a little bit of like logicness, right? For me, logicness being the dictionary word or the word that you find in the dictionary for logic, because, logicness or coffeeness or not enough coffeeness. So journal prompt. What decisions or choices am I holding off on making? What is the one that I am most afraid of? And then go from there. And I guess really when we're looking at that, when we're faced with a couple of choices and decisions, it's not normally the choice or the decision that we're afraid of. In fact, I don't think that's ever the thing that we're afraid of. What we're afraid of is the potential outcome or the potential result of said choice and decision. But here's the thing, at the time when you make your choice, you've got, the way that I think about it is like it's like a choose your own adventure book, right? You've got your story here, and it says, choose to do this and go forward 10 pages, choose to do this and go forward 3 pages. And the story unfolds in the way that it does, or go back 5 pages, or, whatever. But there's always, I guess, like at that point when you go to make those decisions, there's often like two or three potential outcomes, 2 or 3 probable futures that you can step into. And no matter what choice you make, there will be consequences, repercussions, seismic shifts that will occur as a result of those decisions. But you've got to make a choice to do something. Otherwise, you're making the choice to do nothing. And the choice to do nothing usually stems from the fear of what's going to come out. But I guess where I'm going with that is that at the point right now where you may have a choice or a decision to make, and maybe you are struggling with trusting your gut, trusting your head, trusting your heart, whatever it might be, and of those 2 outcomes, anything can happen. Like, they're just the 2 outcomes that you could possibly consider right now. But in actual fact, there's probably a million different outcomes or like repercussions and consequences, and they don't have to be negative things. Like, they can be really positive things, like the payoff for making said decisions. And it's a little bit like come what may. Like, we're not sitting with a bird's eye view looking down at the table like I imagine the angels or the gods or the universe or whatever, like looking at this massive map of all of the possible things. So if you imagine the desk that you're looking at, the desk or the table, and you've got you in the middle, which could be represented by the earth, for example, and there's all the stars, and then there's the galaxies, and you've got all of this, and that this one decision, all we can see, being the humans that we are, and honestly, we're pretty closed-minded. We are pretty closed-minded humans because our reality is based on our past, right? The reality we live right now is based on our past decisions, our past choices, whether we've made active choices or passive choices, or we've chosen just to do absolutely nothing. The only things that we can possibly see or fathom are, maybe 3 or 4 potential outcomes. But in the reality, there is a universe-sized thing that we could end up over here or over here or over here, or it could spark a new galaxy, for instance. Don't know if that's a very good metaphor. Let me know if I've lost you, because this was not what I thought I'd be talking about today. It's all a little bit kind of interesting. So I guess the thing here is that we can get caught up really easily in our fear. We can get caught up really easily in the trying to control an outcome and trying to force a situation and trying to force the next domino to fall or the next penny to drop. Where in reality, there could be a billion different things that can happen as a result of that. And there's no way known to man that we can control anything. So the other thing that you can ask yourself, the other journal prompt, I'm actually going to just reply to this comment. Oh, maybe I'm not. Comments. Replying to Nicola. That's me. How can I? Oh, here we go. All right. I'm going to reply to me. Thing, if I wasn't afraid. Hey, Joe. It's kind of is talking about what we were talking about yesterday. If I wasn't afraid of any potential outcome or reality, what would I be choosing? Okay, so that's the thing. The reason that we often get stuck is because we're resisting making choices and decisions. And, you know, at the end of the day, what's the worst thing that happens? Doesn't work. You know, it's not, there could be worse things. But then with that, you're going to have new information. It's a bit like a game, right? You progress forward 3 spaces, you get a new card, you get further instructions, you get a new set of clues to undertake or whatever, and then you make new decisions based on new information. So I just thought that would be helpful for you. So that's it really for today, for the coffee run, making decisions from head, heart, gut. Sometimes it just doesn't freaking work, and you've got to just write it all out and see what comes up. And I think one of the things that you can consider is, what is the decision that I'm most afraid of making? And then just make it. And then just make that choice, make that decision, take that leap, back yourself. Because if you think about it, like with your marketing even, like if we apply this into social media and visibility and marketing and business, whether it's about worrying about whether an ad campaign is going to work, whether it's worrying or thinking about putting out a new video training series, or what if I go and do this and then this doesn't work? Like, we're really fucking great at catastrophizing. We're really great at second guessing our ideas and our intuition, and then we overthink and we overanalyze, and then that is exactly where we end up in analysis paralysis, or we end up watching all of the other people who are kind of like going out there trying stuff and things that like, we don't know if things are working or not, but then we get envious because you see the things that are going on for them and we assume that they're being successful, and then we stay stuck and then more stuck. So from a marketing perspective, if you've got an idea for something to put out there or for something to say, just get out there and say it. If you're thinking about creating a new program or a new course or writing a book or whatever it is that you're doing, just get out there and start doing it. Make the choice to move forward, because at least then you then step forward or backward or sideways, it doesn't really matter, but then you're faced with a brand new reality with brand new information that you can then start making some different and or new decisions. And, you know, there's always a new choice that can be made. I was saying to my girlfriend, Jo, who's on here, I'm not sure if you're listening live still, saying yesterday, look, you know, this is a decision, this is a choice that I'm most afraid of, so I'm just going to choose that. You know, fuck. Let's just see what happens. And then I said, you know, but I can always change my mind. You know, you can always change your mind based on new information. So yeah, that's that. All right, everybody, have a really great and amazing day, and start moving forward, start progressing. I cannot see your comments, so I don't know what that's all about. So let me know that this has been helpful for you. Share it if you think that there's someone else that you need to, that needs to hear this as well. And I can't wait to chat with you tomorrow. So get out there, go help some people, have fun doing it, make those choices, be visible, and I will chat with you tomorrow for our sensational, fabulous, and amazing 200th episode party at 11 o'clock in the morning, Sydney time. I will talk to you then.